Yo, what's going on, everybody? So I want to have a conversation with you guys about what's going on in Boruto Naruto Next Generations right now. And in particular, I want to have a conversation with you about whether or not Jigen is proving to be too powerful. And by extension, this is going to be a video talking about whether or not the car organization as a whole has proven to be way too powerful for where the scaling is in Boruto Naruto Next Generations. And I want to say something that I feel like is going to be a unpopular opinion. I don't think so. I really don't think that this is a bad idea, and I'll explain to you guys why I came to this conclusion. So after a lot of thinking and after a lot of debate, the reason why I've come to this conclusion is in order for the story to have a real sense of conflict, we do need to have people, individuals who are stronger than Naruto and Sasuke, or at least possess enough hacks abilities to where they pose to be a problem for Naruto and Sasuke. Having a character like Jigen who is able to shrink things down to a size that not even Naruto can sense, and Sasuke can only see it because his Sharingan and his Rinnegan allow him to see chakra as a color and see chakra in a way that he can follow it. It's something that keeps these characters on guard. Naruto and Sasuke, as they are now, they are hands down the two most powerful beings in the verse. And so when you introduce a character like Jigen who immediately upsets that balance, it throws the whole Naruto world as we know it into a sense of chaos. And it's something that if you've been a fan of shonen, it's something that you're used to seeing. Every arc, there's typically someone who comes in more powerful than the last set of antagonists, or there's someone who comes in with enough hacks or enough mental capabilities that they're able to put the main characters in a sense of panic. And one thing that we've seen in the Boruto series is that they're really setting up the idea that the new generation isn't powerful enough to stop these new threats that are going to be coming, all while the older generation, so Naruto's generation, each year that passes on, yeah, they're in their primes now, but eventually they'll be in a situation like what happened with the third Hokage, where if he would have fought Orochimaru 10 years before he actually fought him in the Chunin exams, he would have absolutely demolished him. But because his skills had declined, because his chakra levels had declined, and he had to rely on his ability to use chakra control to fight at a high level for a short period of time, because he had to rely on that, Orochimaru was eventually able to put the third Hokage in a position where he had to sacrifice himself. And it's something that the five Kage during their summit with Naruto is something that they brought up, that this new generation isn't powerful enough to stand up to the upcoming threats. And so when you look at characters like Delta, who was able to push Naruto to the brink of exhaustion, the fact that Delta can push an even stronger version of Naruto who fought against Madara and Kaguya to that level, it's something that for Boruto and his generation, it's going to be a slap in the face, because now all of a sudden that sense of urgency that really hasn't been there for training the new generation is suddenly going to be pumped into there. Like for instance, if you go into the anime, like when Hanabi's training her team, they're like, oh my god, Hanabi sensei is just being so strict. This new generation has been coddled. They've been coddled. They haven't been put through the ringer. Like when you look at how Kakashi trained Sasuke, Kakashi was training Sasuke up to the brink of exhaustion to find out how far he could push him to learn how to use the Chidori. And so when you look at that, when you look at how Jiraiya trained Naruto, once again pushing him to the brink of exhaustion, also Naruto would have enough chakra to be able to summon Gamabunta. This new generation hasn't had to go through anything like that. They've essentially been given a manual on how to be a ninja, but they haven't been put in those real situations. And so when the Hokage of the village is not able to take down these foes, and you know that sooner or later they're gonna come to Konoha, I could definitely see a situation where this new generation gets the focus that they need to be able to rise up to the next threat, because that's the common theme of the Naruto franchise, which is the next generation is always going to rise up to combat whoever it is that basically threatens their home, that threatens their livelihood, and the older generation is going to take a step back. Like when Naruto was growing up, you had Kakashi, who's hyped as Kakashi as the Sharingan, but as fans we got to see moments of Kakashi's brilliance, but we really didn't get to see Kakashi just cut up until we got to the war. As Naruto and the rest of Team 7 grew more powerful, we saw Kakashi, all of a sudden we saw more and more of his skill being shown to us, because the emphasis was placed on the new generation, with them being able to combat their own threats. And every now and then we would get something with Kakashi and Itachi and everyone from that generation. So when you start looking at it from that perspective, having a threat like this where Naruto's fighting against Delta and struggling, where Naruto and Sasuke are fighting against Jigen and Jigen is just mollywopping them, how you already have a guy like Kawaki who already would without being able to know how to use chakra, was able to eviscerate the upper body of someone who attacked him. The fact that you have characters like this who are coming into contact with this new generation is setting the stage for something even better. And then when you look at the impact that this could have on Naruto and Sasuke and just that whole generation, now that they know that there's a guy who was able to fight full powered Naruto, full powered Sasuke, and completely manhandle them, all of a sudden you're gonna see a situation where Sasuke is training, where Shikamaru is training. Like you're gonna see these characters all of a sudden rise up to new levels of strength, and that keeps it in line with what you usually get with the shonen, where as the new threat comes, the current antagonists, they're given the opportunity to have their training arc. They're given their opportunity to have that moment where they go into the inmost cave, they struggle for a little bit, and they emerge free from any type of guilt, free from any type of fear, and they're able to recollect themselves. And so what I really love about this is we're getting not only conflict, but we're also getting that moment where we're looking and we're saying, okay, in this time of peace, we've had all these people using scientific ninja tools suddenly become powerful enough that they can challenge Naruto and Sasuke. In this time of peace, they were spending so much time searching around for Kaguya that they didn't realize that there was an Otsutsuki level threat brewing in their backyard. Like, I love this idea. I really love this idea. And because Kodachi and because Ikimoto, because they do have a Dragon Ball influence, I like this because this is borrowing right from the Artificial Human saga. Or for anime fans, I mean, this is borrowing from the Android saga. They spent so much time fighting all these foes in outer space and training for the Saiyans that they never really realized that Dr. Gero, not Gero, that's anime change, but Dr. Gero was going through and he was building up these artificial humans, and all of a sudden they come out and they're powerful enough to challenge a Super Saiyan. And so because they overlooked the earthbound threat and focused on what was in outer space, they're able to get caught off guard. And now you have Naruto and Sasuke and just the ninja world in general being caught off guard by being like this. So I really like this idea, but I want to know from you guys, how do you feel about Jigen's monstrous power? Do you think it's a good idea for there to be a trade-off in the fact that yes, Jigen has this monster power, but at the same time, Jigen, it comes with the sacrifice. His body can't continue to exert that high level of power because it starts to break down. What do you think about that? But as always, guys, if you like anything I had to say, don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. Have an awesome day, guys.